Namaste, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, those who are listening, watching from the field of science, arts, commerce and engineering. The Most Honorable President Prime Minister Modi ji, respected ministers and doctors, honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators and advisors, reverend fathers and mothers, affectionate sons and daughters. I, Dr. Rakesh from USA, heartily cordially welcome all of you. It is really nice time, nice place, nice action. Today we are appreciating words and sentences regarding language. How language, literature and grammar are interconnected each other. What are the basic modules and how we can be natural in expressing our thoughts and ideas. These are the things that are essentially required in the different universities, those who are studying, our scholars, research scholars. They are busy in doing something better, nicer, finer for our society and nation. Their aim is to bring reformation and transformation in the society, which is the ultimate aim of our research scholars. In Indian universities and in the different foreign universities like Cambridge, Oxford, Pennsylvania, Harvard, Atlanta, California, all over the world, our scholars have selected topics related to nature. Nature that provides us everlasting soothing effect of our mind and heart. Dear friends, presence of nature keep us update and upgrade in improving our speaking, reading, writing and listening. Our Indian land, which is known as the land of starters, beginners and initiators, in the different fields of agriculture, industry, communication, transportation, railways, banks and hospitals. We are known by its multidimensional, multi-sided and multifaceted. Dear friends, unity in diversity, we have read it, heard it, listened from our present rulers, those who sacrificed their personal and professional life for the welfare of society and nation. It is their great credit to this holy motherland. Thereby they are becoming selfless. So like them, being an inspirational and motivational source of society, we just take a note in our daily life for doing our duties honestly and sincerely. That give us utmost pleasure. That is the aim or destination of our life. Let us discuss how writing, reading, speaking, listening, out of these modules, writing is one of the best practical experiment that should be done by our whole scholars maximum. As per the thoughts, ideas and philosophies of Francis Bacon, our scholars read it through off studies. What is the meaning of listening? What is the meaning of reading? What is the meaning of speaking and what is the meaning of writing. These are the basic 4 modules, but out of these modules, writing gives us exactness. Writing improves our grammatical mistakes. Writing increases our writing speed, and all the errors that we commit in writing automatically improved while writing. So dear friends, what is an ideal writing? What is the role of writing in the course of doing different type of academics? What is the importance of teaching of writing? The main focus of teaching a language is to develop the basic skills: reading, writing, speaking and listening. The language teaching involves these skills. The language is considered skills or vehicle of communication or verbal interaction among the members of the society. The writing skill of English involves so many things, but spellings of words are the most important aspect of skill. The correct message, feelings, thoughts and experiences can only be communicated in written forms when the spellings of words are correct. Writing is of immense importance. Developing the skill of writing is an important factor in teaching a foreign language. Writing skill enforces oral and reading work. The language items already learnt become firmly fixed in the minds of the students. Writing provides them a charge of activity, helping in reducing monotony and enables the students to do some homework. Writing helps in the organization of thoughts. It enables a person to present his ideas. Without the help of writing, it is very difficult to keep in mind the various aspects of the subject. According to Bacon, reading makes a full man. Reading makes a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. So dear friends, how Bacon has concluded the 4 modules of language. Reading makes us full man. It is known, it is experienced by the reader of the different texts. A person who is the routine reader, who every day reads something new in newspaper, magazine, textbooks, he knows how reading of the words, reading of the sentences and taking energy from the words that fulfills our hunger of wisdom. Our mind's hunger is wisdom, mind's hunger is words that can be fulfilled by going to the reading. That's why psychologically and philosophically Bacon has explained it. Reading makes a full man, means a person who reads in his routine, in his daily life. It is the best habit. Today in this modern time, private and government, both the sectors have started different places in the form of libraries. That is the most useful place for our scholars. As we take the example of Swami Vivekananda, who he was always the best reader of the books. One time when he goes through the book, the whole book is automatically recorded by his mind. So our mind is the best recorder in spite of electronic devices. Conference a ready man. A person who sits, attends conferences, he becomes a ready man because it develops the habit of quick answering power in them. Writing an exact man. When a person becomes proficient and sufficient in reading, speaking and listening, then ultimately he can become a good writer, and this writing makes him an exact man, expert user of the language. Until and unless a scholar does not try to pen down his thoughts and ideas, then he cannot be leveled and branded as the expert or full man of exact man of any language. What he means is that writing a useful means of organizing thought and giving it precision. Discussing the importance of writing skill, SSM Goddard writes, writing has instrumental value in a school. It is a means of preserving the knowledge which the pupil has gained or the judgments he has formed. Before writing, before reading, before listening and speaking, what do we think? Thinking is the most important exercise of our human body. While eating, drinking, sleeping, in the different actions, what do we think? It is the most important thing. It is more important what do we eat. It is also more important what do we write. But it is the most important what do we think while writing, what do we think while eating. So like that, as food fulfills our demand of our stomach, likely that words fulfill the demands of our mind. The real hunger of the mind is words, which breeds energy in the form of wisdom. It is means of preserving the knowledge which the people has gained or the judgments he has formed. It serves as a check on his forgetting useful items of knowledge and idea. The habit of making notes of what is read and of summarizing help the recollection of what has been studied. Writing a note on the writing process. The writing process can begin with a brainstorming session to get ideas. If the learner has no ideas, there will be nothing to communicate through writing. Another important aspect of the writing process involves finding out through discussions or through critiquing sessions whether the idea are relevant, original, clear, logical, and whether anybody would want to read what is written. This leads to the question of the purpose of writing as well as the audience. Thus, it would be meaningless to ask a learner to write a letter to his or her sister inviting her to a birthday party when both live in the same house. Similarly, if learners were to write to an insurance company about the damage to their scooter in an accident, the manner of writing would be totally different from what they would use if they were to write to a friend about the same accident. A rough draft is written first and then revised. Writing draft is a good practice as many slips and errors get edited out in this process. Describe the techniques which are used in teaching the process of writing. What steps, what techniques what skills do we use while writing. It is the most important thing for the understandable writing and readable writing. The techniques used in teaching the process of writing make use of various kinds of input, and we can classify them. First is using pictures. Pictures can be used as input to write either descriptive or narrative pieces. Many examinations such as the ICSE and the CBSE make use of picture input in their question papers. In textbook writing tasks which use pictures are called guided composition. Second one is using maps. This is the second important technique that should be adopted while writing using map. First is using picture, second is using maps. Maps are used to set tasks or giving directions or prescribing physical features. A map can also be used to describe the country through which a journey takes place. Third technique is using diagrams, figures, charts, tables. These forms of input are used to transfer information contained in them into continuous discourse. Other than pie charts, bar graphs, tables can also be used. For example, learners could be asked to use the information in the tables and write a brief paragraph. Family trees can also be used to get learners to do a piece of continuous writing using passages and extracts. Fourth technique that should be used while writing, that is using passage and extract. This is the commonest technique used to help learners write or complete stories, or write from a different point of view, or write a character description. For example, learners read a passage about an incident and are asked to relate this to their own experiences and write about it. Write a note on mechanics of writing. In spite of these technologies or techniques, mechanics of writing we discuss here. In teaching learning of English, there are 4 basic skills: listening, speaking, reading and writing. Writing is the most important aspect of teaching a language. It is through writing a person is able to convey his thoughts or ideas to others who are not present there. Moreover, writing makes the record permanent. Whatever is written once remains forever, unless it is unknowingly destroyed. While writing, a person has to be very exact. In some of the institutions, it is found that too much emphasis is laid down on writing skill and oral aspect of language is neglected. No doubt, this type of practice helps the learners in the present day type of examinations, but it does not help them in the long run. So the different aspects of the language learning should be given due importance. Teaching of writing involves the skill of controlling the small muscles of the fingers and the wrist. It secures coordination of the hand and the eyes. Secondly, it involves doing various exercises in writing work. The exercises cover a vast field ranging from copying the phrase and sentence to compose a long essay. There are 2 types of learners who can be taught writing of English language. The first category is of those who have not learned writing of any language. The second category is of those who have already learned the writing of mother tongue. In the first case, the teacher has to explain to the learners how they have to sit, how to hold a notebook and how to hold a pen. These are the fundamentals of writing that should be taught to the writers, to the students of writing. It should be taught to them under the skill development programs. Different programs were being started by our President Modi ji and by the chief ministers of the different states. They started such programs for enhancing the talents, manners, style, skills of our youngsters. Likely that they are given preliminary practice of writing with a pen. In the beginning, they are given the practice of writing with the help of chalks and small boards. These blackboards are fixed up on the four walls of the classroom and they are very near to the floor on which the students are sitting. The students are given practice of drawing straight lines on the boards. By and by they are given practice of drawing short lines in one direction and then in another direction. After this they should be given practice in drawing circles, semicircles, etc. This type of practice should continue as long as the students are able to move their fingers and wrist according to the writing specimens. This much practice will provide greatly helpful in teaching the writing of alphabets. The second category of students are already at this stage. They should be introduced to writing of English alphabets. Mechanics of writing includes: one is knowing how to make strokes with proper hand movements. Next two is knowing how to make letters of the right shape and size. Third is knowing how to have the right spacing between letters, words and lines. Knowing how to use capital letters and marks of punctuation correctly. Knowing how to have fluent hand movement from left to right. How should the beginners be initiated into writing, or how will you teach writing to beginners in English? Teaching writing to beginners. In most cases, our students learn English as a second language. So they are in an advantageous position. They know how to sit while writing and hold the pen or the notebook. They are also conversant with writing, though in a different script. To begin teaching writing to beginners, the teacher should write the letters of the alphabet in groups on the blackboard. The student should carefully watch the movement of his hand as he writes the various letters. The teacher may even point out these movements by showing arrows. FG French had suggested that small letters should be arranged. After teaching the small letters, capital letters should be taught. French had suggested the students must use 4-line exercise books to write. These notebooks help the students to write letters of uniform size. The teacher may write in pencil model of letters on student notebooks. The students are asked to overwrite using a Univ holder. Horsebug's writing copybooks may be introduced with profit. The advantage of these copybooks is that models of letters or words are traced on them. The students writes over them and had practiced in writing on the blank space. Students should be taught to write in print script in the beginning. It is simpler, easier and more beautiful than the cursive handwriting. There are 3 types of handwriting. One is forward slanting, second is vertical and third is backward slanting. The teacher should ensure that the student uses a uniform style In this regard, from writing letters, the student proceeds to writing words and then sentences. The teacher should keep this in mind that the student should not be made to write anything which they have not mastered orally and in reading earlier. Transcription at the early stage. Most of the writing will be simply transcription, that is, copying from the blackboard or from some writing copybook. Transcription enables the students to practice patterns of proper shape and size. It also increases their motor memory. They master the spelling of words that they have learned in speaking and reading. Their knowledge of structures is also enforced. Transcription also teaches them the use of capital letters and marks of punctuation. It also enables them to acquire a good hand. What are the techniques that can be helpful in teaching writing at the early stage? One is by overwriting. The teacher writes something with a pencil on the notebooks of the students. The students are asked to overwrite. It can also be done by prescribing English writing notebooks in which letters or words or sentences are written with dots. In this way, students can have overwriting practice. With the help of flashcards, the teacher can also use flashcards to teach writing. The teacher gives flashcards to the students. Something is written on these. It is by consulting the flashcards. The students write down the same thing in their notebooks. With the help of blackboard, the teacher may use the blackboard on which something is written. He asks the students to observe it carefully and copy it down in their notebooks. By writing the first line, the teacher writes the first line in the notebooks of the students. Then he asks the students to complete the whole page by consulting the first line. By using substitution table, the teacher prepares a substitution table on the blackboard or on a chart. He makes the students understand how they have to consult it for speaking or writing purpose. By and by, the teacher is to enable the students to write without consulting the book, flashcards or the blackboard. The teacher should see that students have good handwriting. By good handwriting, we mean legible writing which can be read by anybody and everybody without any difficulty. It does not mean decorate one. Different types of writing scripts in English. What are the different types of writing scripts in English? Which script should the beginners in the language follow, and why? Kinds of script. The English letters have their origin in Roman script. At present, English has mainly three kinds of scripts. One is print script, cursive script, rounded cursive script. What is print script? Print script is the one that is used in printing. In this script, letters of word are not joined together. Okay, sir.